Good evening and welcome to the League of Women Voters Brown County Virtual Candidate Forum for Brown County School Board. I'm Sherry Frank, President of the Brown County League. The League is nonpartisan, which means we don't support or oppose political parties or candidates. We provide voters with candidate information, such as that published in the Democrat newspaper, the online voter guide, vote411.org, and candidate forums like this one. We encourage you to vote, and we want people to be informed voters. I want to thank the school board candidates for participating tonight and for all of you for joining us. Our forum co-sponsors are the Brown County League, the Brown County Chamber of Commerce, and Hoosier Action. A few business items: candidates and all participants are asked to mute candidates until speaking, so remember to unmute. And if you're not, and the participants are asked to keep their videos off. We are recording, and the recording will be posted on the League website, as well as links to upcoming forums and debates. And we do have live captions turned on, so they are available for this forum. The forum is about 70 to 90 minutes. We have a set number of questions planned. If time permits, we will ask for participant questions. Please put your question in chat to the one question moderator, and they will be asked in the order received. Individuals may be asked to unmute to ask their question. Tonight's candidates are Carol Bowden, Jenise Bohbrink, Vicki Harden, Kady Lane, Kevin McCracken, Edward Wojdyla. So thank you all for joining us. It's important to note that all candidates on the ballot for the school board race were invited to participate in tonight's forum. They were also invited, if they weren't able to attend, to send a proxy to read a 1-minute statement, but we did not receive any. Candidates also participated and provided responses to questions in Vote 411 and in the Brown County Democrats General Election Voter Guide, which was published in the September 28th edition. Tonight's candidates have been briefed on the rules for this evening. Each candidate will be asked to give a 1-minute opening statement. Then we'll move to a series of questions where candidates will have up to 1 minute to provide responses. When there are 10 seconds remaining, our timekeeper, Pam Rader, will hold up a yellow card. And then when time is up, there will be a red card, and we'll ask people to conclude. The order of questions will rotate so that one candidate is not always the first to answer questions. And then we will conclude the round of questioning with each candidate giving a 1-minute closing statement. So we are ready to begin with opening statements. Jenise, I'll ask you to go first. You have 1 minute for an opening statement. Could you please begin?
Good evening. My name is Jenise Bohbrink, and I am running for school board in District 2. I moved into Brown County in 2006, and my husband and I are raising our 2 kids within the county, and they are both at Spernica Elementary in the 2nd and 4th grade. I am excited about the opportunity to serve and be a parent on the board and bring my perspective and work experience. I first moved down here and worked at the Brown County Purdue Extension Office, and I am currently working at the Brown County Community Foundation. So I'm excited about this forum and interested to see where it goes.
Thank you. Carol Bowden, would you go next, please?
Thank you. Did I lose myself on the screen? No, there we go. I am Carol Bowden. Although on the ballot, you will see my name fully listed as Carolyn. I am in District 1, the Hamblin District. I have lived in the county since 1981, and I married into what I say is the Bowden clan. I've been on the school board since September of 2007. My agenda, if that is what you wish to use, the terminology, is to keep the school fiscally responsible and stable in order to serve our student population and give them excellent opportunities in lifelong skills and career opportunities from birth to adult. So, and we have come a long way, and we have a long way to continue to go for Brown County.
Thank you, Carol. Vicki Harden, would you please go next with your opening statement?
Hello, my name's Vicki Harden. I've been in Brown County for 47 years. I am married to Dan Harden. Our 4 children all went through Brown County schools. I have 12 grandkids, and 10 of them has gone and are in Brown County schools. I've been on the school board for 4 years now, and I would just like to get reelected to serve 4 more years. Thank you.
Thank you, Vicki. Kady Lane, would you go next, please?
Absolutely, thank you. First, just let me tell you that the sorry, lost words already. The ballot's going to say Kathryn, but it's Kady. Thank you for letting me share my thoughts and concerns and visions for Brown County schools with all of you this evening. As a former teacher here, I've worked in the elementary, junior high, and the high school level. I know Brown County students, both the gifted and the challenged students. I also know their parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, and the caregivers who are working hard to provide their kids with a fulfilled and productive life. Brown County Schools does a lot of things right, and there's a lot of things to be proud of here. But as I have followed the data over the years and experienced its effects on our students inside and outside the classroom, I see opportunities for growth. I see opportunities for less siloed, more nurturing connections between our community and our students, and a wiser, more effective budget allocation that focuses on less technology. There we go.
Thank you,
I got the red card like in soccer.
Kevin McCracken, would you please go next with your opening statement?
Sure, thank you very much. My name is Kevin McCracken. I'm a candidate from District 3, and I serve as the director of the Disability Services Office at IUPUI. I've been with the university for about 11, 12 years. And I think I have the knowledge, the experience, and the character to serve on this board. I have more than 20 years experience of actual board service in a variety of nonprofit organizations, including Thrive Alliance and the Brown County Community Foundation. I've been actively involved as a volunteer in myriad different ways in my community since the mid-90s. I'm married to a public school 7th grade language arts teacher, and I have more than 15 years experience as an associate faculty member with IU. So I've been in front of mostly teaching freshmen, so 18 and 19-year-olds. And I'm just, I'm just really excited for this opportunity, and would really welcome the opportunity to give back to my community.
Thank you, Kevin. Edward Wojdyla, would you go next, please?
Kady's muted.
I am unmuting, and we have 2 large dogs. One of them just decided that that sound was a surprise, so I apologize. We kept you guys from hearing that. No organization touches more people in Brown County than the school does. No organization is more critical to the future of our children and to our county. It's critical we elect school board members that we can trust and that are qualified to handle the broad range of issues facing the system. I have achieved both a certified public accountant and a certified management accountant levels of recognition. I've worked as a finance systems professional in 6 countries over 30 years. I see many good things happening in our school system. I also see a looming, potentially devastating financial crisis. I'm terrified that if we do not do a better job of managing our schools' resources, these good things will come to a cataclysmic end. I see no financial professionals on the school board, and yet one of the 2 major responsibilities is to oversee the budget problems. It's time we balance the school board with those who have direct financial and operational experience. I have those abilities and I'm ready to serve.
Thank you, Edward. We will now begin our questioning, and Carol, we'll begin with you. The first question is just describe what type of involvement you've had with the Brown County schools in the last 3 years.
I have attended school board meetings, of course. I have participated in the insurance committee of the school corporation, which has allowed us to have no increase in premium for employees on the school insurance program for the last 3 years. Also allowed us to create the wellness clinic out there that is available for school employees, county government employees, and the public in general, who also can utilize the resources there instead of leaving the county. I have done continuous education through the Indiana Board Association to learn what I needed to learn about finances, legal opportunities, education opportunities, programs, and grants to facilitate excellent learning within our school corporation. I also respond to people from the community when they give me information and act as a conduit to get it to the right person to resolve whatever the issue is. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Vicki, would you go next, please? The same question. Just describe what involvement you've had with Brown County schools in the last 3 years.
Of course, I go to the school board meetings. I'm also the school board person that is on the early childhood committee. And I've gone to meetings like the Indiana school board meetings up in Indianapolis and stuff to learn, different things about taxes and stuff like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Kady Lane, would you go next, please? Describe your involvement with Brown County schools in the last 3 years.
Absolutely. My involvement in Brown County schools has been pretty widespread. I was a classroom teacher at the junior high school until about 2 years ago. I was also a coach. I coached high school and intermediate school students. I worked inside of Helmsburg School this past year, working towards increasing their science curriculum understanding. And I also led the 5th grade field days for the Soil and Water Conservation District. It used to be a 4th grade program, but now it's going to be 5th grade since they're still in our elementary schools. I've also taken busloads of students over to IU for science days when they've had those opportunities. And my passion's being in the schools and being around the students and learning from the students.
Thank you, Kady.
Thank you.
Kevin?
Thank you. Yes, so my answer is going to be a little bit different. As I mentioned earlier, I have a long and deep and broad volunteer resume, and I volunteered quite a lot at my wife's school and her school corporation, which is in Bartholomew County, but I have not been involved deeply in the Brown County schools over the past 3 years, other than recently attending school board meetings and reading a lot and learning and talking with people. And the reason for that is I've been finishing my doctorate in education, which the degree was actually conferred last Friday. And it's just a really, really intense process, and it really precludes other types of activities. It's really an all-consuming process, or it was for me. And so I'm finished and I'm ready. So I'm ready to get back into volunteer mode.
Thank you. Edward, do you want to go next?
I'm obviously unmute challenged. So I have started to participate in the Ambassador Cohort Program. I can't say enough about how the program is laid out. I think it's absolutely essential that that program's there. So my intent is to continue to finish. I was actually supposed to travel during the last meeting and I canceled my travel and moved it to this week. So I leave here for South Carolina tomorrow morning. But I felt it important to go to the financial review meeting. I have attended periodic school board meetings. My children have all graduated from Brown County Schools. I have been extremely active as a coach. I've been on the park board for 8 years. Now, about 4 years ago, I started spending most of my time in China or Scotland or Memphis or wherever. That's slowing down. So I'm going to get back into my volunteer and engagement with the school.
Thank you. Jenise.
Yes, as I mentioned, I have a second and a fourth grader, and when our oldest Avery started at Spernica, I started helping and volunteering in the preschool classroom, which I love because I wasn't the teacher. I could just do the cutouts, the laminating, the filing, and I loved it. So continued to do that and be involved, assisted with getting bulletin boards ready, and then COVID hit. So that shut down things a little bit. And also prior to COVID, with the Brown County Literacy Coalition, I was a reading superhero. So I would go in and read with some of the students. Then COVID hit, and so that kind of limited what we could do. And now that things are getting wrapped back up and we're allowed to be back in the schools, I'm helping again with PTO and then bulletin boards, and just staying connected with kids in the school. Then on the other side of things, in the high school, I go in there periodically to help with them and their scholarship applications. Thank you.
Thank you, Jenise. Okay, I think I got everybody on the first question. We're ready to start the second question. Vicki Harden, you will be first. The question is, could you please describe the Career Resource Center, the CRC, and its services?
The CRC is like a college classes for adults. I took some classes there probably about 10 years ago and got my for accounting and stuff, and I didn't have to run to Columbus or anything. I really enjoyed it. But now they've added so much stuff. People can get their CNAs, and they can get their diplomas. You know, kids can do that if they dropped out and stuff. I think the CRC is one of the biggest things, greatest things for Brown County to have. Thank you.
Thank you. Same question to you, Kady. Please describe the CRC and its services.
Okay, the CRC, otherwise known as the Career Resource Center, offers a number of different services to people inside of our community. Not only can you go and get continuing education classes or credentials, you can also rent out rooms there or other meeting space. They offer different funding for different things. There's ready grants. You can use office machinery there, which I didn't realize until very recently. They have fax machines, copiers, you have Chromebooks, internet. It's a great resource, and I wish that more people in the community knew more about their services. And that's it.
Thank you, Kady. Kevin, can you tell us about the CRC?
Sure. Well, as others have stated, there's a wide array of adult education opportunities, from high school equivalency to certificate programs and a lot of things in between. And I think it's a really, not just a great resource, but it's a really essential resource for our community. I mean, from 2018 to 2021, the graduation rate at Brown County High School dipped by about 10%. And if you look at the percentage of students who are taking the SAT and the ACT, our county is at half the state average. So that means we have a lot of young adults who are not super well prepared for higher education or moving on to getting trade school, community college, some kind of certificate, something that would attract industry and young families to our community. So the CRC is the only thing that's meeting those needs. And that's why I think it's an essential resource in our community.
Thank you. Edward, would you answer the question as well? Tell us about CRC.
So I'm going to start with a general philosophy of what I think the CRC is. Any compassionate, caring community recognizes that life happens, and there are many students who, through no fault of their own, are not able to pursue and complete their basic education, right? So this is an opportunity for us to allow them a second chance. The second piece is, as Kevin pointed out, right? We have a large number of students who are not college bound. Now, and this is a critical resource for those students. I do know that we only have 4 certification programs in there, and I'm going to say that's not enough, right? There needs to be more job certification type programs offered by the CRC to serve that population. Thank you.
Thank you. I think Jenise, are you next?
I think so. CRC, everything, all the above that everybody else has indicated. Career Resource Center is a huge asset. I've taken, it was just one class, but it was American Sign Language, and it's been a few years ago, which I thought was a really cool and interesting course to take. The best part about the CRC is that it's not just for those that are, over 18. They have so many certifications and so many opportunities for, high school kids, middle school kids that want to start gaining some credits towards college. And I've been working with Christy Reitzman and some other folks at the high school trying to get some more certifications and getting some scholarships for students as they need it and as they try to further their education. Yeah.
Thank you. Carol, would you like to answer that question?
Yes, thank you. One thing you need to note that since the CRC has been in existence, they have served almost 16,000 people in different courses that they presented through collaboration with IB Tech. And of course, we all talked about the CNA, but the CMA, Certified Medical Assistants, are in great need, and they are doing a program with that. One program that they had that they don't have right now is heat and refrigeration, which is great because the 2 guys that do my heat refrigeration, my furnace, and my air conditioning were graduates from the CRC. They have the active electrician program, which is very important because we need skilled trades for service in Brown County, not just elsewhere. The CRC has done a lot of work with the 1 cent referendum, and I appreciate everything that they do. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next question is continuing on the same theme, and we'll start with Kady. Kady, what do you feel are the strengths and weaknesses of the CRC, and where do you see it 5 years from now?
That's a great question. I see the strength of the CRC as being one that has a lot of potential growth that is still untapped. I think the way that it's being currently run, I think Christy does a fantastic job with it. And I think that she is somebody that could definitely take it to the next level. I would like to see a lot more expansion going on there. There's a deficit in this county, and there's a huge deficit for people that need to have degrees in something other than college. They need to know how to do skilled trades. So maybe blend the CRC with Eagle Manufacturing and add some more CTE curriculum. I think that that would end up saving us a lot of money, because then we don't have to pay Bartholomew County schools what $190,000 or more every year to send our C4 students there. We could do it here in the county, and that would be a win-win for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Kady. Kevin, the same question to you. What do you see as the strengths and weaknesses of the CRC, and where do you see it 5 years from now?
Well, it is a good question. I think the fact that it already exists and it's in a highly visible location, and some people at least know about it, certainly are strengths. But the obvious weakness, as Ed alluded to, is that it would be great if they had more programs, if there were just more certificates. I like what Kady said about the integration with the high school and the middle school. I think that would be a great opportunity. But I think in 5 years, it would be fantastic to see some more integration with, I'm not sure, I wouldn't say K through 12, but probably like maybe 7 through 12, and particularly Eagle Manufacturing, and a broader array of programming. I think some co-branding with Ivy Tech and IU, IUPC, some other universities, the community college, just to kind of get a little bit more attention about what's going on there would be a vision as well.
Thank you. Edward, same question to you. Strengths and weaknesses and 5-year vision.
Okay, so I think the strengths of the CRC are the facility. It's a very good facility, and the staff. It's a very good staff. Okay, and I think the number one weakness is funding. Right, there's not a steady stream of funding. We need to look to the private sector, and as an example, I believe Eagle Manufacturing is being privately funded to a certain degree. I think that's an extremely good opportunity. I would continue to look, and I think you all know Evan Reiser. He's works with us at Cummins. He's a really exciting young man who writes diesel technology manuals for our mechanics, right? How cool is it that a kid in high school can talk to the guy that writes the Cummins manual for diesel mechanics? I mean, that's beyond cool, right? So more of that interaction, more of bringing professionals in, and perhaps linking it to jobs. I got you, Pam. Thanks.
Thank you. Same question to you, Jenise, about the CRC strengths and weaknesses and where you see it 5 years from now.
Okay, we'll start with strengths. I think the definite strengths that the CRC has is the broad array of curriculum and certifications and things, programs that they are able to offer. And now with the size of the building, they can offer so much more. So where I see them in 5 years is meeting the students, meeting the individuals where they need. One of the weaknesses that I see is that it's a best kept secret, but we don't want it to be a secret anymore. I think more people need to be educated and aware of all that the CRC has to offer, and not just the CRC, the entire education service center. That building has got so many plans, and it's so exciting to see where it's going on, the birth to death capabilities.
Thank you. Next to you, Carol, strengths and weaknesses and 5-year vision.
Thank you. Well, I don't disagree with anything everybody else has said. I know that they have been working on opportunities for associate degrees and certificate opportunities through the Ivy Tech, through ROI, through local businesses that have supported the CRC in different directions. They're working on collaboration with the different education opportunities. They have great labs to work in. They have great supportive staff. And it is a wonderful second chance for adults who did not do well or finish high school or did finish high school and did not move on in life and have come back and gotten appropriate education all the way up to a psychology degree and is working elsewhere. Thank you.
Thank you. And I think Vicki Harden, you would be next.
I don't really know what to say. Everybody said or anything. I do know that we do need, more finance. I know they're always looking for grants and stuff to help to get new programs and stuff. I think that's a weakness, but I think the strong part is more adults are coming to get degrees, and they're going over to the jails to help them, the people that are, to get their degrees and stuff. So they are helping, adults in the county to better themselves. Thank you.
Thank you. We're on to the next topic, and this has been mentioned, but could you please describe, and Kevin McCracken, you will be first. Could you please describe Eagle Manufacturing, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
Sure. So Eagle Manufacturing is this amazing program within the high school. Obviously serves high school students, and they do a variety of, they provide a variety of services. Everything from CNC to plasma cutting to marketing to logo design, graphic design. It's a really, really cool, I call it a social enterprise because it's an actual business, but it serves a social purpose rather than, trying to increase shareholder wealth. And it is just a really amazing program. What it does is it's a model of active learning, which is the best way to get student engagement. And when you have student engagement, then you have student retention. And so students come back because they have these really engaging experiences, real world experiences that lead to opportunities beyond high school.
Thank you. Edward, would you answer the same question? Could you describe Eagle Manufacturing, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
The Eagle Manufacturing is the best thing since sliced bread. Extremely excited about it. Again, Kevin earlier talked about the number of students that aren't taking the SAT. This is an opportunity for people to have really solid income careers and an opportunity. Manufacturing is an incredible industry. I've been in it all my career. You have all types of opportunities. You meet all kinds of people. You get all kinds of multicultural opportunities, right? I work with, when my wife calls him my BFF, but he's from India. And I just have developed friendships around the world. And to think a young person can learn the skills to walk into the manufacturing industry, which is global. Okay, the opportunities for them are quite frankly limitless. And I really hope we can continue to make it grow.
Thank you. And Jenise, will you answer the question next about Eagle Manufacturing, who it serves, and what programs it offers?
Yes, wonderful. Eagle Manufacturing is a student-run not only class and club, it is a business, and it is awesome to see that students can put that on their resume, and getting that start to finish of a business or a project contract. They do the billing, they do the project making, they do all of the correspondence with anybody that wants to order and use the products that they can take out. I've seen shirts, I've seen hats, I've seen signs, I've seen banners. I think I've seen cups. I've seen like anything you could possibly want. If you were running for, say, a campaign or anything, you might be able to utilize Eagle Manufacturing. But it's just neat to see the kids' excitement, and then that they're doing it on their own with the guidance of Mr. Townsend and Mr. Keyfaber. And so it's just cool to see the kids be able to grow and develop those business skills in high school.
Thank you. Carol, could you please answer the question about Eagle Manufacturing, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
Thank you. Just as Jenise said, it is a student-run program directed and proctored by the teachers. One of the things it is doing is leading to opportunities both in college and skilled areas when they leave our corporation, because they already have a head start on teamwork, along with, as said, graphic design, engineering, marketing, the actual act of making products and running the business of it. And one of the fantastic things is we've been doing this, and we started early with this, that other schools are coming to us to learn about what we're doing in little rural Brown County.
Thank you. Vicki, you're next with a question about Eagle Manufacturing, who it serves and the programs it offers. It looks like we've lost Vicki. I don't see her on anymore.
I think she's dropped off, unfortunately.
Well, one of the issues we still deal with in Brown County is internet, internet connectivity. Kady.
Sure. I mean, everybody's already said it. Eagle Manufacturing is a student-led business opportunity that has, two great people with oversight over the top, Mr. Townsend and Dean Kiefer. They do anything from milling, routing, CNC machining, graphics. I think the biggest problem with it is they can't keep up with orders. And so it takes a while to get the orders, but they have students that actually reach out as customer care representatives. They do their own billing. So regardless of what you come out of there with, you can go get a job. College is not for everyone, nor should it be for everybody. And we have got to get off this push of making people take the SAT and the ACT. That's detrimental. We need real world training, and that's what Eagle Manufacturing offers. Thank you.
Thank you. You may detect a theme here. The next question will go first to Edward, and it is still regarding Eagle Manufacturing. And we are asking, what do you feel are the strengths and weaknesses of Eagle Manufacturing, and where do you see it from 5 years from now? And I think if you have a unique role from the school board, you could include that in your comments. Thank you. Edward, you're first.
You're welcome. So I would go back to the same comments I made on the CRC, right? I think the advantages are location. I'll add location, the facility, and the people running it. There are also interactions that are happening between private industries and the industries and Eagle Manufacturing. So, you know, the strengths are there. Again, I talk about funding, right? That's a weakness. Where do I see it in 5 years? I see it expanding and offering more direct manufacturing related job training. So, because there's a lot out there, right? There's welding, there's all types of machinist work. There's a lot of really good careers out there. So I'd like to see it expand into that in that direction. And I'll be done.
Thank you. Jenise, you will be next with that question, strengths and weaknesses of Eagle Manufacturing and where you see it 5 years from now.
I think the biggest strength is that it's student-led, student-run, and the fact that they're moving into a larger facility.
We're having a little internet problem, Jenise. We lost your sound.
Capacity for students and businesses and products to be kicked out, and it goes back to kind of it going into the having shop class again, and giving kids that trade expertise that they could take with them as they go into a next career or post high school. Weaknesses is that there will probably be a limit to the number of kids that can be in there, unless they expand further out into that building, which I guess that could be a potential. But no, it's just exciting to see things grow and expand, and as the construction happens over there.
Thank you. Carol, would you also address strengths and weaknesses of Eagle Manufacturing and where you see it 5 years from now?
Well, one of the strengths I see is the teaching staff that are involved there. They have a wonderful relationship with their students and with that program. It's always wonderful to see what's happening and updating. Eagle Manufacturing is expanding in the Educational Resource Center, which will allow more number of students to be able to participate because they're limited by where they are now currently at the high school. We are currently working on getting all the equipment moved and installed and updated in the new building. And once that's going, then there'll be definitely increases of participation and opportunities in education with that population very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Kady Lane, would you please address the question of strengths and weaknesses of Eagle Manufacturing and where you see it 5 years from now?
Absolutely. I'm going to pick up where I left off from. College is not for everybody. So we need to really push CTE curriculum, in my opinion. And for those of you that don't know, CTE curriculum is career and technology driven education. And I think that we really need to look for regional and state economic development here in Brown County. And I think that this can be a driver of that. Ed had mentioned before collaboration. We've worked with STEM community partners before at the junior high school. And I absolutely adore that Eagle Manufacturing is now in the junior high school to engage these middle school students. That's might be one thing that'll capture some of them and actually keep them in school until they graduate. 5 years from now, it's going to be even bigger and better.
Thank you. And Kevin, we will conclude that question with you. Strengths and weaknesses of Eagle Manufacturing and where you see it 5 years from now.
Sure. Well, I'm finding out that when you're the last candidate to respond in the cycle, it's difficult to add much. But clearly, the equipment that they have, the teachers working with the program, the students there, the facility, these are all strengths. And others have alluded to the weakness, which is capacity. So I'm really glad to hear you, Carol, say that it is expanding. I think in 5 years, obviously, it would be great to see it expand, to add some of the other trades and practices, like welding is one that would come to mind that Ed mentioned. But I think also it's really important to, I mean, this equipment isn't going to last forever. So there need to be some funds reserved for replacing the equipment. Otherwise, it's going to kind of just come to an unceremonious end at the end of the life cycle for the equipment. So it's a heavy expense, but there need to be some funding put back to replace the equipment.
Thank you. Jenise, you will be first on the next question. And this is regarding the Early Learning Center. Could you please describe the Early Learning Center, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
I'd love to. The Early Education Center is an amazing, the fact that Brown County is going to be able to offer birth to 5, childcare and preschool once it's completed. They currently have the 3 and 4-year-olds in the preschool area. They will open the 2 to 3-year-old room in January of 2023. And then the next step is to get the infant to 2, infant to 3, or infant to potty train, not potty train, infant to toddler set up and ready to go, so that people in Brown County or people that are driving in from Brown County have a facility, childcare to take their kids. I know that when our kids were little, it was challenging finding a place to take them so that we could work. It's an amazing facility. The toys, I want to be a kid again. I want to go back and play with all of the furniture and all of the elements that they have in there. And it was, when they had the open house in August, it was hard to restrain my kids from playing on it. And it's like, you're too old for this. So it's just an amazing opportunity. And then being able to incorporate the Head Start, and Head Start can have a permanent home in that building.
Thank you. Carol, could you please also answer the question about the Early Learning Center, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
Well, it served birth through 5 year, as Jenise said, in stages. They are working on being state certified. We're also getting and will be having opportunities for students to get back involved in that area, so that those students who want to go for education or degrees in care management at the younger age will have that opportunity because of this facility. And the other thing is that working on a new playground back there, which is age specific and safe for that population, because right now with the wall and with the playground equipment out there, it's not appropriate. So we are working on getting an assessment done and working on a grant to help facilitate that replacement.
Thank you. Kady Lane, could you please answer the same question about the Early Learning Center, who it serves, and the programs it offers?
Absolutely. It's necessary support for our local families here. Brown County financially is kind of dying a slow death. We need ways to get young families involved in the county and start growing that population back again. And this is a really important first step towards that. It's essential that we take birth to 5 initiatives straightforward. It's a profound effect on their success later in life if children are able to have this necessary interaction. It provides social and emotional intelligence, and it also adds to overall health of the kids. Right now in Indiana, 35% of the child programs are ranked as efficient. I certainly hope that ours gets that ranking very quickly, so that a lot of people from surrounding areas will end up bringing their kids here too.
Thank you. Vicki Harden, oh, you are back. Okay. Vicki, we just missed your
Yeah,
spot.
our power went off. I don't know what happened.
Oh, no. Well, welcome back. And I will address our current question to you. And the current question is about the Early Learning Center. Can you describe who it serves and the programs it offers?
The early childhood center, I think, is right now 3 and 4 years old. I think we're gonna try to get the early child for childhood, like for babies and infants. I think that's in the future, but right now it's the 3 and 4 year olds, and the classes. I'm sorry, I really don't know what classes are offered. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Kevin, would you please answer the question? Am I giving it the wrong title? Is it Early Childhood Center? And talk about its programs and who it serves.
Sure, yeah. Well, others have stated, that current it's new, so it's services and programming are being phased in. Currently, it's 3 and 4 year olds with plans to integrate into younger and younger cohorts. It's a really important resource in our community for a couple of reasons. One, research shows that when students participate in early learning, they're less likely to repeat a grade. They're less likely to be labeled as with some kind of disability. They're more academically prepared. They're more likely to graduate from high school, and they end up being higher earners in the workforce. So this is something that is not an expense, in my view. It's an investment in the future of the youth of Brown County. And also, it is, and others, I can't remember who, but it is a reason for families to stay in Brown County and keep their children in the public school system, because childcare is such a big issue and such a big obstacle. So it's a really needed program in our community.
Thank you. And Edward, could you please answer the question as well?
Sure.
Who it serves?
One
Go
of
ahead.
my favorite professors said, when you need the time and money, you don't have it. And when you have the time and money, you do have both. So, parents, it serves young parents who are really in a tough way. And I don't know how many people have had children. It's a real tough period of time, right? You are really exhausted. So anything we can do to help that group, I think, to Kady's point, right? It encourages people to come here. Now, I was really impressed that they took on Head Start from the YMCA, and they went from 6 to 16 people, right? So I don't know if we're really doing something right and the YMCA isn't, but that tells me we know how to serve people. And I'm hearing that could potentially expand. Probably the other group that it's serving, and maybe a little indirectly, are the high school students who go over there and participate. That's a very good career path for people, right? And again, back to the same thing. It's an opportunity for the kids to gain a certification, to come out and have a skill set that can make a decent living. And then who knows? So thank you.
Thank you. The next question is to you first, Carol, and continuing on our theme, we're asking about strengths and weaknesses of what do you feel are the strengths and weaknesses of the Early Learning Center, and where would you like to see it 5 years from now?
Well, I'm going to answer this question backwards, where I'd like to see it 5 years from now, full from 0 to 5, with clients in there being serviced, which means they would have more families in the community, which serves all parties, from obviously taxpayers and services in the county to renovating homes and providing opportunities. When my child was young, there wasn't opportunities here, and I had to keep her in Columbus where I work. And I would have rather been able to have her here to go through the school corporation or through a church program to start with birth to fifth, which I did in Columbus. We need it here in order for families to be able to feel like they can stay here and have our corporation grow. Strengths are there in the people that want to make it work. We just have to get to that point. Thank you.
Thank you. Vicki, could you please answer that question as well? Strengths and weaknesses and where you see it 5 years from now for the Early Learning Center? Vicki, you're muted.
I'm sorry. For the strengths, I think they're taking some of the high school kids over to teach them how for early childhood, and so they can, maybe once they do get their own kids, have their own kids, they'll know the knowledge and all the work and everything for the young kids. For 5 years, it's like Carol says, I hope it's full. I hope we have a waiting list. It's much needed for the county because there's no daycare in the county, but I think there's one daycare that's in the county. So I'm really hoping that in 5 years it will be full and be helping the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Kady Lane, could you please answer the question about the Early Learning Center, where you see it 5 years from now, its strengths and weaknesses?
This is kind of a tough question simply because it hasn't gotten up and running yet. I think it's a wonderful asset for the community. I think that it's only going to grow and help more people. We've already discussed opportunities for learning for high school students going there. So once again, that saves Brown County School Corporation money from putting our students on a bus, sending them to Columbus to C4. They can do it right here in the county. It also builds relationships, and school corporations, especially a small school corporation like ours, needs to be a community hub. And if we're going to have this right here on the main campus, that makes this more of a community hub. I think in 5 years, let's go big. Let's have it full, and let's have it be a model for other early learning centers across the state or the region. That's it.
Thank you. Kevin, could you please address the question, strengths and weaknesses and 5-year vision for the Early Learning Center?
Sure. Well, it exists, so it's not just an idea or a dream. That's an obvious strength, and the fact that there is demand in the community is not technically a strength, but it's a great opportunity. So it's not just there doing nothing; it's there serving a vital need. But as a new program, well, I think the fact that it has broad community support is also a strength. But funding is always going to be a challenge for a program like this. And, in 5 years, I think all of us would agree, we want to see it full, we want to see it vital, we want to see it grow. And, I think that's everyone's vision.
Thank you. Edward, would you like to address the question about vision 5 years from now, strengths and weaknesses of the Early Learning Center?
Sure. I'm going to repeat some of the same, but I'm going to add a little bit to it. Again, I think it's an extremely safe place for kids to be, and that makes me feel good. And I think the staffing is excellent. And I think there's a theme that we're seeing in all of these facilities. And the superintendent has done a fantastic job in putting the right people in the right places. And if you've done a lot of management, right, that's 99% of running things is the right people in the right place, because then you can count on them, right? Then you're not spread all over the place, and you can work on the future. So I think the right people in the right place, and I do appreciate that that's the role of the superintendent. We do have opposition, and we need to be aware of it. A lot of people think that those functions are private sector. So we're going to have to be aware of that, and we're going to have to really address it.
Thank you. And Jenise, I think you'll finish this question about the Early Learning Center. Where do you see it in 5 years, and strengths and weaknesses?
I think the initial strength that we've already seen is that with the high school CO4 program, they were busing students over to Columbus to participate in this field of study. And just from last year to this year, last year they had 6 students in the program, and this year they have over 60 enrolled in this school year. So that's huge. And just watching the Early Childhood Center increase and grow and give students that opportunity that, yes, you know, going on to a secondary education may not be their path, but if they can go there and get their certifications and then have a facility that's right there, their school room is amazing. And I just see that expanding over the next 5 years. Weaknesses is it's going to be limited. We're only going to have so many kids and spots to fill. So I'm super excited to see this vision finally come to tuition.
Thank you, Jenise. Our next question goes first to Vicki. Vicki, this is regarding the school referendum. What do you see as the pros and cons of the school referendum that will be on the ballot?
The cons are a lot of people are thinking that we're just asking for more money, you know, and we really need it, I guess. The pros are it will make, you know, it'll help like for our early childhood education, it'll help for the CRC, it'll help keep teachers that we're losing teachers because we're not able to pay them. And, you know, with our referendum, you know, that will help keep the teachers here, hopefully. We really need it. So I'm hoping the public and, you know, the people in Brown County will vote yes for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Kady Lane, could you please answer next the school referendum, pros and cons?
Absolutely. The pro is, I don't know that it's a pro or could be a con. I mean, we need the money and there's justification for the money. The hard thing is that we just ask for one, and most people don't understand that this is unfortunately the new face of public education, that we're going to have to go to the taxpayers and say, we need more money, we need more money. But we need, as a corporation, to really make sure that we're on top of our budget. I compared our school to 3 other schools in the state that are rural schools that have a very similar student population and demographics to ours. And some of our expenditures are a lot higher than theirs, and their student outcomes are a lot higher than ours. So we need to make sure that when we ask for this money, we make good use of this money. Thank you.
Thank you. Kevin, I believe you are next.
Yeah, so I believe that a system is perfectly designed to deliver the results that it delivers. And in this case, the state legislature has designed a funding system for public schools that require many schools to ask for a referendum periodically in order to meet their needs. And, you know, student enrollment is declining. This is largely due to state policies about school vouchers and school choice. And so as students are leaving, we need to recognize that teachers are leaving also, and they're leaving to go to neighboring corporations because they can make a lot more money in many cases in those neighboring corporations. This referendum will allow us to keep those teachers, or at least increase the likelihood that we keep the good teachers that are here, and to attract other teachers to make this a corporation of choice.
Thank you. Edward, same question about the referendum, pros and cons.
I think the referendum process itself is a good one, right? It allows a school system to go to the taxpayers if there are issues that the school system cannot manage financially, right? I think it's good to have that safety valve there. To rely on a referendum in perpetuity, I think is very, very dangerous, right? This is the worst, this is the worst possible time you could go to the taxpayers and ask them for more money. I just got my own utility bill, right? I am much better off than a lot of people in the county. I'm really concerned at the effect that this is going to have on our lowest income population. And that's probably a population we don't want to lose, right? We want to encourage people to be here. Higher taxes, even if they don't own a home, they're going to pay higher rental fees. So boy, this is really concerning, timing primarily.
Thank you. Jenise, could you answer the question about the referendum, please?
Yep. I think the largest negative with this referendum is the way that it is worded on the ballot. It is very misleading. And if folks have not educated themselves on the referendum, then it won't pass. People need to look at the ad that was in last week's Democrat. It clearly defines it. As a property owner, our property taxes are not going to go up a significant amount, very, very little. The positive, if this referendum passes, I'm hoping you can see this. If this referendum passes, my kids will be able to graduate in those uniforms. Obviously not those exact ones, but bigger ones. If it doesn't, then my kids will not get to be graduates of Brown County High School, and that hurts, that pains me. And I think as a school board member, I will make it my duty to make sure that the referendum, if it passes, oh no, I got the red card, that we will be fiscally responsible and make it happen. And not have to every year ask for referendum. Sorry, don't give me the hook.
Great value.
Thank you, Jenise. Carol, you're the last one to answer this question about the referendum.
Well, Jenise, thank you very much for bringing up the legislator failures who put that ballot question in that format that nobody understands and makes it look like we're really raising taxes when as my property is in the middle of the road of the whole tax spectrum and would only cost $2.27 extra per month, which is less than a McDonald's meal and less than $40 for the whole year increase that we're actually asking above what's currently being paid. We need to retain our staff because we can't compete with our neighbors if we don't have decent wages and benefits. And this will continue to support the CRC and the Early Learning Center to help us develop those programs, which will only support the Brown County community, the Brown County community in order to keep us fiscally responsible. If we do not pass the referendum, in 3 years, we will be in a very, as Ed said, fiscally catastrophic state.
Thank you. We're moving on to our last planned question. We have used the time well, so I'm not sure we'll have any time for additional participant questions, but go ahead and put them in chat if you're interested. We will give it a try. I see one question in chat that has been answered and one that we can answer after we finish this question. So Kady, you will be first up on this. simple question. What is your vision for Brown County schools? We've talked a lot about some of the programs. What is your vision for Brown County schools in the next 5 years or 10 years?
My vision for the Brown County schools in the next 5 or 10 years is that we see a reversal in the enrollment decline, that as a county, we're able to attract new families here. And I really want to see a change in how curriculum is handled within at least the junior high and the high school. I can't speak to the elementary schools, but I think we rely too much on boxed curriculums, and these cost a lot of money, and they don't allow every student to achieve. They're like cookie stamps, and not every student fits into that cookie stamp. So we need to develop curriculum that's original and authentic, and we need to have curriculum that has community elements added to it so that we have student buy-in. And without student buy-in, we're not going to get the best that we can out of the students. They all have gifts to give, and it's up to us to make sure that they're able to give those gifts.
Thank you. Kevin, you will be next to answer that question of your vision for 5 years and 10 years for Brown County schools.
Well, thank you. I suppose the vision for 5 and 10 years is really the same. And it's very similar to what Kady shared. I mean, we need to stem the flow of students outside of our county. And we need to stem the flow of teachers from our corporation. And so we need to secure all of the funding that we can. We need to make sure that we're being fiscally responsible. We need to make sure that we have policies and practices that support teachers. And so things like really useful, timely, and well-prepared professional development. Research shows that teachers oftentimes don't respond well to professional development, but there are lots of really good opportunities to provide that quality training for teachers to maximize their effectiveness in the classroom, which is going to keep students here, and it's going to keep teachers involved and engaged and keep them here.
Thank you. Edward, that question goes to you.
The vision, I believe we're on the right track with these programs. And it's interesting that we're talking primarily about these programs at this election and not everything else that's going on, right? So these are critical and they are important. Only 25% of the referendum is going to these programs. Yet what we're hearing is if the referendum doesn't happen, these excellent programs are in jeopardy. It's almost as if the 25% is being held hostage by the 75%. So I think, I think we need these programs, we need to grow them, but we need to structurally understand what else we can cut if the referendum does not happen, because these will lead our school to the future. And we can't afford to not lead the school into the future. So we have some real work to do. Anybody that's on a school board going to have a lot of work cut out for at least 2 years. And it may not be in very good condition, because if we don't get both referendums, we've got some things to deal with.
Thank you. Jenise, would you like to take the question next? What is your vision for Brown County schools in the next 5 and 10 years?
The ultimate interviewing question is continuing the progress of providing world-class opportunities and small school relationships with the intent of when those students graduate, and I'm saying, yes, they have to graduate in the next 5 to 10 years, Brown County Schools has to stay here. That they will be able to graduate on Friday night and be able to walk into the real world that Monday morning, being prepared for what the real world is out there, and what opportunities that lay in front of them. And they can say, hey, I was prepared. Brown County High School, Brown County Schools prepared me for my adult life. And as a school board member, I'm gonna be an advocate for the teachers, for the students, for the staff, and making sure that they are taken care of in this community.
Thank you. Carol?
Thank you. Number one, we really need to meet all students at all levels to assist their ability to learn the skills they need for the next chapter of their life, whatever that may be. From special need kids being able to gain life skills, to be able to work a job in retail or other areas, to those students that need that stimulation of advanced courses to continue on to college, and every level in between, because everybody deserves that opportunity to stay fiscally responsible and fiscally stable so that we can provide what is needed to that population, including materials in the building, such as eco-manufacturing opportunities and other things that we've already discussed tonight, and to keep those excellent, highly efficient teachers and staff in our corporation so that we can provide those services for that population. Thank you.
Thank you. Vicki, you want to close it out for this round of questions? Vicki, you're muted.
I'm sorry. The next 5 years, I would like to be able to see our students stay here at Brown County instead of going to other schools. I would like to see the classes so we are bringing to teach them their degrees, so when they do graduate, they're able to go out to, to a workforce or wherever they want to go. I would like to be able to see keeping the teachers here instead of losing them to other schools. I just like to see Brown County grow and be a great school like they are. Thank you.
Thank you. That concludes the planned questions that we had. There is one question in chat that I think we probably have time for, and then we will go to closing statements. I don't know that the person that asked this question is still on. Gay Lawson, I don't see her, but the question is if the candidates would describe their positions on CRT, diversity, and equity. And we will start with Kevin.
Yeah, so this is going to take way more than a minute. But I'm just going to simply say that CRT, critical race theory, is not something that's taught in K through 12. It's a theoretical perspective that really resides in higher education. Diversity, equity, to me, these are parts of a just society. Diversity is essential in terms of having children in schools and seeing a teacher or a staff member who looks like them is going to keep them in that school. And if they don't see someone who looks like them, they're not as likely to stay. Diversity means a lot of things: diversity of ability, diversity of thought, diversity of age, race, ethnicity. These are all things that contribute to a rich experience for students. And I think it's a really essential element of any public education.
Thank you. Edward?
A prominent Viennese psychologist, on commenting about the human race, said there are only two types of human race: the decent kind and the indecent kind. And I believe that. I don't believe that there's any difference between my colleagues in China or India or Mexico and myself, but there are good people and there are bad people. We need to help the good people. I think as far as equity goes, I think the programs that we have show that we're a caring community, right? And a caring community embraces the difference, the needs of people without regard to any ethnicity, any preference, period. If they need us, we help them, and that's it.
Thank you. Jenise? Jenise, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm slightly animated. Exactly what Ed said. It is our responsibility and I'm going to define as being a human, being a school board member, being a community person. It is our job to provide our students, whatever age that may be, with a quality education. It doesn't matter if they're short, tall, wide, narrow, green, gray, purple, whatever, they deserve that education. And we'll leave it at that. And we need to meet them on their level and give them the education and meet them where their needs are.
Thank you. Carol?
Hello. Being a disabled person since birth, which most people don't recognize, my philosophy is human first, because I have suffered the consequences of being discriminated against to the point that many years later, and I'm talking about second grade to now, it still affects me, and I do not treat people like I was treated. I am in the healthcare business and I treat everybody the same. I work on their particular problems to meet their particular needs. I think all of our students should have equal opportunities to succeed, and we need to give them what they need in order to succeed. And I think we all should be learning from the diversity of humans, as described twice already by the two previous speakers. I went through the world pre-American Disabilities Act, and let me tell you, it's a lot better afterwards than it was before. And faced by just a very act of what you have tonight, which is closed caption. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Vicki?
I think we should just educate our children in school and everything that, treat everybody the same. I had a handicapped brother, and I saw how he was treated and stuff. And I just, it makes me sad that, kids are treated like that. If we just educate, our kids to treat the other kids how you would like to be treated, I think they would learn and, just to treat people the same. Thank you.
Thank you. Kady Lane?
Yes, I think often there's a confusion between the difference of equality and equity. Equality means we all start from the same point. Equity recognizes that we don't all start from the same point. And if we're going to offer an equitable education to all of our students, that means we need to raise some students up to where the others already are in order for them to succeed. As far as diversity goes, I think we need to recognize the differences in all of us. We're not all the same, and that's something to be celebrated, and there's nothing wrong with honoring diversity. As far as CRT is concerned, it's not something you see in a K through 12 school. It is higher education. If somebody thinks for a minute that Indiana is going to pass down legislation saying we need to teach CRT in the classroom, then I guess we do that.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We are now ready for closing statements, and we will start with Edward.
All right, thank you. In 2016, taxpayers of Brown County approved a referendum that expires in 2023. increasing taxes by 8 cents per hundred. The new referendum extends the original by 8 years and adds a 50% increase. Living beyond one's household budget is dangerous. The school board has had 6 years to prepare for the current referendum expiration. I'm in favor of the new referendum because the programs that would go away, I think, are needed, and because we need at least 2 years to complete a thorough analysis. The new referendum fails and the 2016 referendum expires, problems will cascade. We only have 1 year before the 2016 referendum expires. Adding board members formally trained and experienced in finance is critical to a stable future. I have the experience and I humbly offer my service to the taxpayers of Brown County to work as part of a team and a more sustainable future for our kids, community, and lead us into the future.
Thank you. Jenise?
Jenise Bohbrink, my closing remarks are just this. I am an active parent. I am a community volunteer. I am going to serve the community regardless of whether I'm elected on the school board. It is my duty, my strength, to be an advocate again for the students, the teachers, and the staff. And I feel like now is the time to have a parent in that role on the school board. And thank you to the League of Women Voters for hosting this forum this evening.
Thank you. Carol?
Thank you. I would say that I would appreciate your vote in order to keep Brown County School Corporation financially stable and viable in order to serve all our students from 0 to adult with the opportunities for lifelong learning and skills, quality of life, and highly effective teachers and staff in order to support that. I would advise you to read further into all the information that is out there to get a further picture of what the referendum is really stating and what we plan to do with it and how it is impacting our budget if it does not pass. Thank you very much, and you all have a great evening.
Thank you. Vicki?
I lost my my thought. I appreciate your vote. I would like to be on the school board for the next 4 years to see our goals for that we had a goals for 10 years. I would like to be able to be there to help meet those goals and help our kids and keep our teachers here. And I just appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Kady?
My primary goal in being elected to this position is to unite the many stakeholders that are involved in public education. First and foremost, we need to focus on the voice of the students and their parents, caregivers, or guardians. If it weren't for the students, none of us would even be here. We also need to listen to the teachers. They're the ones that are in the classrooms day in and day out. They see what's happening. They know what's happening. We need to hear their collective voice, and we need to take their concerns seriously and not laugh them off. Finally, I really think that we need to bring some fiscal responsibility. Going through some of these budget statements has me really questioning a lot of things that I'm seeing. So if I'm elected to the school board, I promise students first, listen to the teachers, and return fiscal stability to this county. Thank you.
Thank you. And our last closing statement will be from Kevin.
Well, on behalf of all of the candidates, thank you to the League of Women Voters for this forum. We're all grateful for it. Our community faces a lot of challenges. A lack of infrastructure, lack of affordable housing, lack of well-paying jobs. These are all significant challenges that the school board is not going to be able to solve those problems. But what we can do is maintain and improve our quality public education, because you can fill in all of those other gaps in our community, but if you don't have quality public education, families won't stay and families won't come. I'm ready to serve this community and this school board. In addition to my years of experience of board service, I've managed multi-million-dollar budgets. I have an MBA. I understand fiscal responsibility. I understand policies. I understand strategic thought. And I'm eager to apply those skills to make our public education as good as it can be.
Thank you so much. This will conclude tonight's candidate forum. On behalf of the Brown County League of Women Voters and our co-sponsors, the Brown County Chamber of Commerce and Hoosier Action, I'd like to thank each of tonight's candidates for allowing us to get to know them and their positions on important community issues. We want to encourage each of you watching to commit to vote. Your voice is your vote. Be prepared. No important deadlines. The first deadline is coming up October 11th to make sure that you are registered. We will send a follow-up email with voting information, and please check vote411.org and the voter guide in the Democrat newspaper for more candidate information. Thank you all and good night.